when I sit and I start to wander off, it's like, Lisa, focus, please, because it really does bring you back to reality, right? It's because not many people will quit something while they're successful.
Yeah.
But if they run into a wall or they hit a bump, it's like, oh, pivot, I need to change course and do something different. But maybe that was just like a little rut in the road, and you need to focus until you've given it your all. And once you know that you've given it your all, and if it's not working, you have the right to say, I give myself permission to move on. Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the Other 99%, every seller matters. Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. I'm here with our co-host, Susan Larimer, and we're trying something a little different for you guys this time. So what we have planned for you is a 4-part mini-series. Let's call it that.
Right.
And we're going to be talking about something that we think, or we keep hearing a lot about right now. And people are at a point in their business where they feel almost like they need to restart. And so we've taken some time and we broke this into 4 bite-sized pieces of podcasts, let's say. And I don't really want to call it training. I don't really like, it's not really training. It's just like, we're talking to you. We're giving you a few points to think about. And then we have some takeaways for you that you could choose to do them as homework if you want, or just something to think about. So today's topic is basically talking about you're not actually broken. Because a lot of people think, oh my God, my business is broken, it's not working. But you're just stuck, right? Like you're just stuck in a spot where you don't know how to get out of, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it's easy to get caught up in that because business is going really well and you're doing the same thing, and then all of a sudden the results are not the same. And then you get frustrated and you don't enjoy your business as much. And it could be because, January, everyone's excited, new starts. We had the whole episode on a restart. But now we're almost in Q2, right?
Mm-hmm.
January, February, March, we're almost into Q2. And now we kind of need like a reset. So I think everyone in direct sales has been here. I know I personally am kind of in it now because I just came home from a vacation and the vacation was amazing. It's a good vacation when you don't think about your business at all. It's running on autopilot. And I had 2 friends in Mexico say, Susan, I listened to your podcast. So to my friends, Carolina and Ruben and Pastor Hernando, shout out to you. Thank you for listening. But we're in this place where we kind of need like a reset. So I love this idea of a mini series. We're excited to do this a little bit shorter than our other episodes. So maybe you can, listen to it on the way to the grocery store or waiting to pick up your groceries, something a little bit shorter than our usual 35, 45-minute segments. So yeah, today's all about a reset, why sometimes you need a reset, what it feels like, and like Lisa said, we're going to give you some homework to do for next week's episode.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing when people hit this point in their business is that, sales have slowed down.
Mhm.
Things that they're doing aren't necessarily, they feel like they're not necessarily working, right? We might be in a stage where, oh my goodness, I just have to post because that's what my upline tells me to do, or that's what my company tells me to do. But you're not actually seeing any results, right? So a lot of people, like I said, that is like the feeling of stuck. My business isn't working. I don't know what to do to get out of it, to get out of this rut. And the thing is, and I always said this to my team, it's like, I cannot motivate you to do your business. The motivation needs to come from within. but I can help guide you through the steps of, how to bring yourself out of that rut and get that motivation back so that you start building the excitement back in your business. You start posting with excitement. You start making the sales because you start actually having conversations with the people that you're selling to, right?
Yeah, you need that new energy. I was talking to Lisa ahead of time, and because we have notes, and she's like, "Did you add that sentence?" I did add that sentence. So sometimes I feel like a pinball machine. Like you get home or you're sitting down to do your work, and there are so many different things you need to do, or places or platforms you feel like you need to show up, and you feel like a pinball. Like the ball kind of drops, it hits the little levers and you hit it and then it goes like all over the place. And that's sometimes what I feel like. I have this, visual in my mind of a pinball machine. So if that's how you feel, then this little mini series is for you.
Well, I just got to share something that's kind of funny because I said to myself when January started that I was going to start showing up more on social. Now, keeping in mind, I have my Epicure running in the background, so that's business number 1. I have, Digitally Direct or my lisaduck.com where I do my courses and stuff, so that's running too. And then I have the podcast. So I lean heavily onto ChatGPT for help keeping me sane, basically. And I put this information in telling ChatGPT, okay, I need you to help me with a content plan. This is what I want to do. And ChatGPT actually said to me, Lisa, you need to stop. You are going to burn yourself out because this is not like you can't keep doing this. You can't manage 3 different businesses all by yourself, posting to all different platforms. You need to step back and do something more realistic. So, with the help of ChatGPT, my pinball machine stopped pinging all over the place. Right? And then I sort of focused on one task at a time. So I think that is the biggest thing that we need to tell people is that, yes, you don't need to be everywhere. Just because you see people and you see the success, right? You think you see the success. But as you look, like there are people that you think are being very successful, but you don't know what the background, what's happening there, right? You see the social media success. And what we need to do is we need to stop trying to be like those other people,
Yeah.
right? We need to do stuff in our business so that we can stay consistent. We can stay motivated in our business because in the end, all we really want to do with our business is basically serve our customers and make some money,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I think what you are describing is, is it sustainable?
Mhm.
The things that you are doing, is it sustainable long term? Can you keep doing all of those things without burning out and completely being overwhelmed and frustrated? So, like Lisa said, you don't have to show up everywhere. I know
Mhm.
TikTok is one that people are saying they get so much momentum and it's the place to be for direct sales, but I just won't go there because I know
Mhm.
it's going to open up a whole nother time sucking um, it's gonna just it's gonna take too much time and effort that I don't have and that I don't feel passionate about that platform. If you're on TikTok, maybe you've given up Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. So pick one place. We talk about this often. Pick 1 or 2 platforms that your people are on, that you enjoy being on, and focus on that. But don't feel pressured into being in all the places and doing all the things. So maybe that's a good activity too, is to just write down, where you want to show up.
Hey everyone, just a quick pause to thank today's sponsor, CinShare. CinShare is a social media scheduler designed for direct sellers and creators alike. It's your go-to tool for planning, scheduling, and simplifying social media right from your phone. Built to take away the overwhelm, it lets you upload your own content, use a ready-to-share library, schedule across multiple platforms, or post on the go using the CinShare keyboard. Want to learn more about SynShare or grab a free 30-day trial? Visit lisadoc.com/SynShare. Now back to the episode. So one thing that I discovered back when I first started direct sales, and it was funny because in my office back then, I had 5 frames on my wall, and did you ever see those photographs where people would take pictures of objects that looked like letters?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I went around my backyard and I took pictures of objects that look like letters, and they spelled out the word focus.
Oh.
And everybody would say like, "Why do you have that on your wall?" Like I'm like, "They're cool, but why do you have that on the wall?" Well, because I was told way back then the word focus means follow one course until successful.
Like
Okay?
that.
So I always that is focus on your business. Don't start trying to master TikTok when you haven't yet mastered Facebook. Don't add YouTube if you haven't mastered how to do reels on the platform that you're on all the time, right? So there's things that we need to do to sort of bring our businesses back to the basics and start I don't want to say start from scratch, but almost like look at your business through a new lens, a new set of eyes, because there are things that we're doing in our business now that I think are harming our business because we're not really like our businesses are set around, connections. They're set around you know, relationships that we make with our customers, servicing our customers and stuff like that, but we're putting too much reliance on social media posts that only get seen for like what is it, 7 seconds or something? I was like really weird. How long does it take you to scroll? Boom, it's gone. And if you don't capture their attention, but we're relying on that to run our business,
Yeah.
right?
Or we're seeing someone else be wildly successful, and then we're ditching something that was gaining that momentum in
Mhm.
order to start something totally new. And as we know, every new platform or system takes time to build that momentum in order to see the results. So when you're constantly pinball machine all over the place, you never get to really enjoy the rewards of being consistent and seeing that growth. So
Yeah.
stay focused. I love that. Focus. I almost wrote it down, but I'm like, "Oh, I'll listen to the replay. I'll take notes when I listen to the replay."
Focus, yes, I have that word everywhere, and when I sit and I start to wander off, it's like, "Lisa, focus. Focus, please," because it really does bring you back to reality, right? It's because not many people will quit something while they're successful.
Yeah.
But if they run into a wall or they hit a bump, it's like, oh, pivot, I need to change course and do something different. But maybe that was just like a little rut in the road, and you need to focus until you've given it your all. And once you know that you've given it your all, and if it's not working, you have the right to say, I give myself permission to move on. But not until you focused on what the goal was in the first place, right?
Yeah. And I just wanna give a little, warning or maybe encouragement. I know for me personally, when there are so many things I know I need to do, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon," and so what do? I start scrolling, I start doing
Mhm.
mindless things that feel good. In fact, my daughter and I are currently addicted to this app called Wool Frenzy. I shouldn't even say it because don't download it because it's addicting, but you're basically like it's this object that you're unwooling, and you press the color and it unspins onto a spool, and it's so rewarding and satisfying. But, like, you can spend hours because it's just like this it's like a slot machine, like, you're just hope there's no prize, there's no reward except for the completion of the unwooling, but that has been, like, the thing that I do. So here's my My promise to myself and my encouragement to you is when you feel overwhelmed and you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna give up for the day." Don't do that. Maybe just pause, maybe go for a quick walk around the block, get your head fresh, and then think of one thing you can do and then go from there. But when, I just feel myself get so defeated when I have a list of a million things to do and I think of some little excuse to just scroll or do something mindless that just wastes my time, waste, my day, my energy, my mental skills, and then, I have not taken advantage of the opportunity to do something for my business. So don't fall into that trap.
All right. Well, I think it's time to give them their homework. Let's call it homework if they choose to accept our offer of the homework. So,
Yeah, so maybe get like a notebook, pen and pencil, and write these down. So the
or
first
grab your
thing
phone as you're listening and your notes app. That's what I would do.
your notes app. Yeah, so the first thing we want you to do is to think about what feels heavy in your business right now. When you think about your business or when you think about something that you should do or have been meaning to do or a part of your business that is important to do, it doesn't even have to be important to do, but something what feels heavy. Like we all have that thing where we think about it and we're like, "Oh, it just gives
I think a
me."
lot of people, if you want to relate this to something, is probably customer follow up. For some reason, that is probably the one that feels the heaviest to most
'Cause they have
direct
a list
sellers.
of people they know they need to follow up with
Yeah,
and just get
yeah,
overwhelmed. Yeah, that's a good
yeah,
example. Yeah, so what
yeah.
feels heavy?
And then the next one is what is feeling too hard or too frustrating for you right now? And I know that we could probably write a big long list there and write as many things as you need to. Just get it from there onto the piece of paper or your notes app because then you can actually take action on it, right?
And then the next one, what used to feel fun and easy, but doesn't anymore? So maybe there's some part of your business that you used to really enjoy, and now when you think about doing it, you're like, "Oh, I have to do that again?" So what used to be fun, but kind of feels heavy right now?
Yeah. And then the last thing is what has been on your list to do forever? Maybe something that you keep, oh, I didn't get that done this week. I'll move it to next week. Oh no, we'll move it to a week after that. So what do you need to do that's going to move your business forward, but you just don't get to it? What is that one thing?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes we put things off because they're hard, but we know we should do them. We know it's a needle mover, but it just feels like overwhelming, like, and you just keep putting it off. So we all have that. So those are
Yeah.
4 things we would love for you to kind of reflect on, think about, and then come back next week where we have part 2.
Yeah. So next week we're going to talk about simplifying your business. Oftentimes we think that we're not doing enough, but in fact, we're actually doing too much, just like my little ChatGPT story. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this first part of our mini series, and we're excited to bring the other 3 parts to you. So, stay tuned and join us again next week for another episode of The Other 99%. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.